This is an update to my limited edition unboxing video. It's just my thoughts on the contents. I haven't data mined the game. I haven't Googled online to find anything out. Purely my thoughts. So I don't really regard this as spoiler. Although Andy, a friend of mine, did point out to me something he saw online with regard to the poster. More just an observation that other people made. So with that said, let's get into it. I've got quite interested in the two postcard images in the box. I mean, they're great bits of concept art, but one of them kind of shows what looks like a spaceship, giant, huge spaceship that eats possibly planets or small moons, and it's got a sort of city on top of it, or it looks like a city that could be possibly a cabal, and there is a spaceship that's heading towards the planet-type object, and that could possibly be a guardian ship. It does look dart-shaped, and the planet itself looks as though it's heavily mechanized, industrialized, so it could be Vex, possibly a Vex planet, and maybe there's a mission in the game. Now obviously I'm sort of hoping there could be a mission in the game where you fly to this planet, rescue someone or something before this big planet-eating spaceship eats the planet. Looking at the other postcard, the creature, it looks like a big giant slug thing that's eating a city and being worshipped by the cabal. Now that kind of looks like the spaceship. So possibly this creature is something to do with the history of the cabal. Maybe they worship these big slug godlike things. Maybe they're just a mythical thing in cabal culture. But either way, maybe this big giant planet-eating spaceship is based upon or pays homage to this big slug creature or slug god that the cabal worships. Or maybe they still do. Possibly this big planet-eating spaceship could be to do with the raid. Maybe it's a boss from the raid. That's probably stretching it a bit. But either way, they're great bits of concept art, and they definitely do get you thinking. Possibly these things are nothing to do with in-game content. It's just to do with the lore of the game. Now those were my initial thoughts, but then I showed one of the postcards to my girlfriend, and the first thing she said was, "Ooh, it looks like a fish." And as soon as she said that, I thought, oh yeah, it does. It kind of looks like a deep sea fish, what they call a bottom feeder, that would be at the bottom of a pond or a lake, just scraping around on the bottom or feeding on stuff. And it also reminded me, because there's like a light above the city. I just thought, well, obviously this big spaceship is roaming around the galaxy. It's not always going to be by a star. The city's going to need light, and maybe the things that this monster consumes powers it, and or the spaceship consumes powers it. That light, bathes the city in light so people can live up there. There are deep sea fish that are cut off from sunlight, and parts of their body fluoresce to attract prey. Lots of them do have like a lure, which looks like that light above the city. What this thing could be luring, I don't know. But when I started looking at that sort of circular light and the shape of the mouth, and it reminded me of some of the graphic art. If you look at the cover of the art book, there is actually a triangle with a circle above it. If you look at the sticker in the centre there's a triangle with a circle above it. So maybe that is a symbol that represents this big spaceship or creature. Now when I was looking at the spaceship, there is sort of a dome shape feature on the side of the spaceship, and I just thought, and I didn't really think anything of it, I just thought it might be some sort of port or something on the spaceship. But it does kind of look like where an eye could be if it was a creature. So it got me thinking, maybe this thing isn't a spaceship, maybe it is alive or was alive. I just don't know. But it's interesting stuff. Another thing that I was thinking about is the art book itself. I won't get too much into it, but the art book talks about a rebellion in the ranks of the Cabal. And the pictures, the Cabal characters, they're referred to as traitors. Whether or not they could feature in the raid, maybe as like mini bosses, like the King's Fall raid had quite a few sort of mini bosses before you get to the final boss. Maybe some of them, at least, could be mini bosses. It even talks about how they could be like tackled and killed. Now, what I like about the art book and how it sort of features betrayal within the ranks of the Cabal, it does make the Cabal seem less one-dimensional, that there actually are characters within the ranks and power struggles, different personalities within the Cabal ranks. So they're not just some sort of mindless war-like race that just obliterate everything. There's kind of more to them, makes them more interesting. I think it's a smart move on Bungie's part. Now, the city on top of this spaceship or creature did get me thinking. One of my favourite parts of Wrath of the Machine raid was when you're on top of the wall with sort of fixing the war machine. And I really like the fact that you was actually outside during the raid. You weren't just in corridors or in sort of locked chambers. So the idea of maybe the raid being in that city and the characters from the art book being bosses within that city, and actually sort of the whole raid sort of being outside, under the light from this sort of lure thing about, in the sky. I thought that could be really cool. Now I did think, well, maybe the raid could be sort of inside this creature and you sort of destroy it from the inside, but looking in there, looks like a furnace in there. It's going to be really hot, and this was the last place you'd want to be. So going into the belly of the beast to destroy it probably wouldn't be a good idea. Now, I mentioned that Andy told me something with regards to the poster. Well, first of all, one thing that I noticed is the circular symbols on the poster are the same as the images on the reflective disc. What Andy told me was some people online used UV light. They looked at the poster under UV light and some hidden symbols appeared. And this is one of the things I really like about Bungie. They put these secret things like to get everyone sort of speculating. Now, obviously you can go online and I'll read people's speculation on what these symbols actually mean. I won't get into that. But again, it's really cool that it creates a real buzz around the game. And also I thought I'd show you a close-up of the box art because it is really intricate. It looks like someone's really gone to town with ZBrush. The gold is actually embossed and it gives the box a sort of opulent look. It's still made of, it's just made of cardboard, but it's very well made, a nice collector's item. Now also I've found out that these little objects are Cabal military pawns after extensive research. Well, actually, no, I just looked at the back of the box properly. It does actually say on the back of the box. But they do seem to have symbols on them that could be related to like the Vanguard, to do with the Guardians. So maybe these are little pawns that relate to Guardians, and maybe the Cabal have them on sort of their war plan and they use them to sort of denote where the Guardians are. The raid itself is only a few days away, but I'm really hyped for it, and I need to get back to playing the game because I'm only level 10 at the moment. I need to get at least one character raid ready so I can raid with my clan. Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps me out. And thanks for watching.